Well, this morning I'd try and do a blog as I do my morning exercise routine. It's now 6:30. I've just come back from taking Richie to work again today, and I thought, well, rather than take my camera, I'll take my recording equipment and give you a verbal understanding of what I'm doing. At the moment I'm just walking through the churchyard at the end of the close, and I'm watching a few people, early morning risers who are going into work at 6:30. You'll hear the cars in the background and vehicles. It's a better day today, less, still grey. The sun's not shining. Cloudy day, but brighter, and no rain at the moment. From Monday, the weather has been getting slightly better every day, but still not what I'd call a perfect summer. There is definitely more traffic on the road now. No doubt about that. We can anticipate it going now as more and more people are showing confidence in getting back to work. I think it's good to see. As much as it was certainly enjoyable to have the silence in the streets and the birds singing, it was eerie at the same time, and obviously was doing no good for the economy. So seeing people getting up and getting to work is a positive. I had an email from a friend of mine who wanted to. He's been looking at the videos I've been sending out and showing interest in the farm, and particularly on the hospitality side, because that's the industry he comes from. And he was saying to me, "Simon, have you considered glamping? Luxury tents with all the built-in facilities, showers, WCs, etc. And give it that eco-friendly feel." Because he's involved in something in Slovenia. He was talking about something to do with a herbal glamping involvement, where people spend time in a rural setting surrounded with natural herbs and things like that growing, and they have herbal baths and get the scent, and they have a variety of things they can get involved in, herbal tonics and herbal massages and all kinds of other things as well. And he was making the point that I could do the same in the Philippines with the natural growth and herbs and fruit that grows in my area, my part of the world. And well, I guess we are sort of thinking along the similar lines. I mean, we weren't thinking, yes, it was also sort of a glamping type of feel to it. We weren't thinking of so much luxury tents, but more the traditional Philippines nipa hut, which is a bamboo structure, solid, insulated. We're still deciding whether to have air conditioning or not in them, possibly in the bedroom only. A nipa hut is actually quite a cool construction. The nipa, which is the material that goes on the natural material that goes on the roof, is as much a cooling agent as anything else. Nipa is used to ensure the temperature remains relatively cool inside the construction, and works very effectively. In fact, when I've stayed in the Philippines and I've stayed in a construction with a nipa roof, I haven't had to use the air conditioning. Ventilation it's just worked fine. And quite honestly, if I can avoid using air conditioning, I do. It's not always easy when you go for a 2-week break from our climate into a warm tropical climate. But when you live out in that world, you tend to use your air conditioning less and less. I was even doing it, I found, in the Middle East. Not so much in the summer, when it gets to 55, 60 plus, but in the winter months, when you have most of your holiday makers out over there, they would still all rather have air conditioning on. Well, I would always turn my air conditioning off in my apartment, and I just open my windows, because I get the natural breeze flowing through the place rather than cold air coming out of a machine, which never has the same impact, in my opinion. Anyway, getting back to the idea of a glamping experience. Yeah, look, our thinking was to have these nipa huts, not all congregating next to each other in one part of the farm, but to have them isolated in various parts of the jungle, among the fruit trees and some in the woods, some next to the river, on the riverbank, in various locations, so they have their own identity and give guests all different experiences. And there were going to be, basically, my idea or thinking was to have them basically kitted out, decent quality bedding, obviously all individually with their comfort rooms and showers, good bed linen, Egyptian cotton, well constructed mosquito nets, if they wish to use them. No TVs and things like that. I wasn't going to put that in. I wasn't putting that sort of stuff in. I was going to keep it totally natural. I was thinking of having plunge pools or that type of natural spa pools or something like that in some. Again, something that can be looked at as time progresses and as expense allows in the start. The great thing about the Philippines with nipa huts and the development of the process, it has flexibility and with relatively low cost outcomes. And our thinking was we'll kick off with a few, 2 or 3 and expand on it. We have got we've got enough land to do quite a extensive township, but we want to keep it relatively low key and just capture the natural beauty of the jungle and give everyone the experience to enjoy that type of experience, so they can try indigenous fruits, some of which they probably haven't had before. I'm not thinking of the conventional stuff, the mangoes and the pineapples and bananas and that sort of stuff. I was thinking more along the fruits they have had less exposure to, like the durian fruit, for example. That's an interesting fruit. The durian fruit was actually banned from many countries based on its smell. Because a durian fruit, as it ripens, it stinks like a blocked up drain. It really does smell quite vile. But it is actually quite a nice fruit. And has great health benefits as well. Interesting fruit. Obviously the things like papaya. Papaya is a healthy fruit as well, which is very good for you. We're also looking at a number of products, natural products we want to create. In fact, we've started the process. We're looking at soap. We've got a couple of trials going on with malunggay, which is known as moringa in other parts of the world. In Philippines it's called malunggay, moringa. So a soap which we're creating over there. You can buy a moringa soap over here, actually, in the Body Shop. I don't know how much moringa is in it. I think it's about £2.50 per bar in the Body Shop. So have a look out for that. Those of you in the UK, you'll see that. Moringa soap. We're creating our own. Right, I'm just coming away from the road now, and I'm walking up the towpath here to the next to the canal, and then walking onto the Pennine Way, which is the old railway line I explained to you. So the traffic should hopefully go into the background, and you should hear more wildlife and birds. Yeah, so as I was saying, creating more natural products. Rich is working on a recipe with some people for a papaya soap, because papaya apparently is very good for the skin. As are lots of things. Coconut oil, also extremely good for the skin. So there will be a range of health benefits that we want to show on property as well. And when I say we're not going to produce everything on our 20 acres, obviously. We're set in a region surrounded by farms and farmers. And my intention with product development is we will form a coalition we'll coordinate with all the local farmers to gain the cooperation and hopefully improve their business as well, particularly for the export market. I'd like to think I can put together a range of products for the health stores, Holland and Barrett, etc., but get engaged with the local farmers over there and get to a situation where I can improve their return on their yields by getting their product directed at export in finished goods. So it won't be just our little farm doing that, but we'll be capitalising with other farmers in the area to do it, make it work. I mean, that's further down the track, but it's all part of the process of building the relationship in the community, which is all important. I mean, yes, we could do it without even having a farm ourselves, but I think having a farm, a small farm ourselves, gives us the opportunity to touch and feel the product developments to make it work. We also want to have with the hospitality side of it, a small, an open air restaurant. Basically, it'll be a large open structure, again with a NEPA roof, but open around the sides, other than having a few moringa and other indigenous plants around it. It'll be a base concrete polished floor, then I'll probably put a tile on that, and then it will be decked with local bamboo furniture for the restaurant, and it'll also be my office in many respects. That's where I'll sit from. It will be linked to the internet, and it will be my base to work from with overseas buyers on selecting product categories, and we'll do our best to invite buyers from around the world in the health industry to come and see us, so we can show them what we're doing and also what farmers around are doing as well. So we're about to conclude, apart from video conferencing, yes, works, and or any other form of communication works, of course it does, but by having the hospitality facility, we can pick people up from the airport, bring them there to spend a few days, so they get to know us, get to know our product ranges and how we've come to develop them and how we would like to take them forward, and then obviously listen to them and their needs or what they're looking for as well, because that's also very key in a project like this, knowing exactly what they want. I mean, that's how this has started, through that, actually, through listening to David at the health stores in Nottingham. We've come up with product development ideas already, and they've shown keen interest on the fact that I'm going farming in the Philippines. They didn't inspire me to do that, actually. It was something I was going to do anyway, but they like to think they've given me the push to do it, so I don't mind that. And they're coming. I mean, they've said that as soon as we're up and running, they'll be there. So we've got things happening. I would think the hospitality side of this will only start in the latter part of next year, in a smaller scale anyway. It won't be a big scale until possibly end of 2021, beginning of 22, but certainly we'll have some, we'll be able to accommodate some visitors by middle of next year, I hope. Certainly we're going to have products ready, because I've already got product development going on now. That's already started. Papaya soap and moringa soap, I'll be able to share with you samples of that in the next, well, in the next week possibly. I'll be able to give you pictures and show you the concept of how we're making the soap and what it looks like, and the brand. Now that's another interesting debate, brand. Richie and I are in a bit of a, not dispute, but not in full agreement yet as to what we want to call ourselves, because we can't call ourselves what we call ourselves at the moment. So there's a name, there is a group of names we're working at, some of which are quite interesting. One that comes to mind, so I'm just looking at the blackberries. Standing here by the blackberry bush. One that comes to mind, sorry, I was sidetracked then. I get sidetracked by looking at vegetation. One that comes to mind is Jungle Dreams in the Philippines. There's already Dream Jungle out there as a brand. In fact, it was a book that was written by a Philippine writer who's based in the United States. There are a couple of vloggers out there that call themselves Philippine Dreams and similar names, but the name that I'm considering, sorry,
all right.
Carry on. That was just a cyclist going by. Name that I've sort of been bouncing around the idea with is Jungle Dreams in the Philippines, or Simon and Richie's Jungle Dreams in the Philippines, if you want to put that on the end, but it doesn't have to be Jungle Dreams in the Philippines. As the main title. Jungle Dreams can then have subtitles. The jungle diet, the jungle fruit diet, jungle health, jungle juice. There's so many things that can come off that which make it work realistically. Difficult to get a name, because once you've got the name, you've got to go with it, and you brand everything else around it. So we're not there yet. We haven't got it down to, we can give it just a name, of course, but in this particular case, so that we're found by a broader international audience, I thought it was useful to give it sort of a name that would relate to it wholeheartedly. So the fact we are literally in the jungle in the Philippines is why we say Jungle Dreams in the Philippines. It relates to hospitality, it relates to brands and products and everything else that we have. But anyway, I'll be interested to get your thoughts on that, or any other ideas you may have. I'm open to those sort of things. And let's see. Right, I'm coming off the path, the Pennine Way, coming back onto joining up on the Staveley Ingersoll Road now. which is going to take me back up the hill towards home. I'm going round the back end of Springwell Community College here. And I think this is a good time to sign off. So I'll talk to you hopefully during the course of the day. I didn't get a video out yesterday. I will try and get a video out today. But if not, it will be soon. So have a good day and talk to you soon. Bye bye.